Well, the Estate Agent Registration Board is in charge of ensuring that there is order in the industry where property agents operate. I mean, the board has been around since 1984, and now joining us in studio is the chairperson of the board. This is Eunice Macharia. She's going to explain to us what the board is doing and the collaborations they're having with the county government as well as other government agencies. You're watching Inside Government. My name is O'Brien Kimani. Welcome to the show. We are live from Broadcasting House here in Nairobi. Thank you very much indeed, Madam Eunice, for joining us. I mean, help us understand. I highly doubt that if you were to walk to the streets of Nairobi or any other town and you ask people who is Estate Agent Registration Board, I'm not sure how many people will tell you who is that. Why the low profile?
This is an issue that we have been addressing, and thank you so much for inviting us to the studio this afternoon. The issue of publicity is an issue that we have been working on, and we've been putting notices in the newspapers. We are very vibrant now on the social media. So it is possible that I might get a few who know who the board is. Yes, it is possible now.
I mean, you know, the board has been around, you know, since 1984. And until 3 or 4 years ago, that's when the board started coming up strongly. I mean, telling Kenyans that we are here and this is our mandate. I mean, why now?
Maybe the question I would ask is why not now? Because there is always the opportune time for everything, and there's a season for everything. And I think when we came to the office, especially myself in the last couple of years, then we made a concerted effort, and we have been working to put together structures and to put in office the persons who are able to help us even to advance the cause of the board. And I think because of that, there is a bit of publicity, and we have programs that are advancing publicity. We have regional meetings. We go to Mombasa, we go to Eldoret, we go to Kisumu, and we try to advance the cause of the board. And also locally, we have been doing a lot of publicity. We've been doing advertisements in the newspapers. We've been meeting people through the studio, like on this occasion, and just trying to advance the cause of the board and telling them it is necessary that if you are practicing as an estate agent, you need to register. And also telling them that this is a profession, and there are people who have gone to school, people who have studied in the real estate field, they have done a degree in real estate, they have done a degree in land economics, and they are qualified to serve Kenyan citizens. And we are telling the public, do not engage people who are not registered, because we have quite a number of estate agents who are registered, over 3,000 who are registered now.
Over 3,000?
Yeah.
And you are talking about over 3,000, I mean, and when I don't know whether there is a proper repository of how many estate agents there are in Kenya, but I would want to imagine there are more than 10,000.
You're right, O'Brien, because we estimate in excess of 15,000 persons who are practicing in one form or another estate agency. You do realize that people will be practicing at different levels. There are some who are just brokers in the market. They just bring you and a buyer or a purchaser together and a seller together. They don't do much more than that. But the discipline of real estate agency is much deeper than that, because we have property managers, we have people who are doing feasibility studies for projects, we have persons who are doing facilities management, we have property managers, and you know some of those companies that are operating even in Nairobi, we have Knight Frank, we have Tyson's, we have Lloyd Masika, we have, and they're doing very good business in town. So people do know there is estate agents exist. So what we are telling them now is that these people who serve you as estate agents, as property managers, as feasibility study, giving you those reports, as brokers, you need to ask them to produce a certificate of registration. Yeah.
You've just mentioned a number of estate agents who are traditionally known within the Kenyan market, but when you look at the number of agents that have come up in the last 10, in the last 5 years or so, I mean, you're talking about thousands of them. Why are they not registered? And you give the number of about 3,000, you know, upward of 3,000 who are registered with the board. And you're saying that there are 15,000 who are still out there. So you have still more than 12,000 agents who are yet to be registered. Why the low number of registered agents?
What I would say is, first of all, is that the real estate market has grown in the last couple of years. Actually, the last 20 years, the real estate market has boomed and expanded a lot. And you find that then the services of estate agency the demand has grown during that time. So you find also, because of lack of jobs in other sectors, like we have a lot of accountants and even lawyers who are applying for registration as estate agents. So we find, because of the demand of the service, the numbers of those who are in one form or another offering that service has grown. And then coming back to your question on why the low enrollment, first of all, I could say that possibly the resourcing of the board has not been that very good. And without resources, then it becomes impossible to enrich your outreach and to go out there and, more or less preach the good news.
You have been in the news, a couple of times, saying that the board is going to start a crackdown on unregistered agents. Have you started that campaign yet?
What I'll say is that, we are working on the structures, on enriching our structures, our governance structures, and we are working very closely with the ministry. And I also want to really appreciate the office of the head of public service, because he has been very much at the forefront in campaigning for state agencies like ours to be empowered and to be developed and to be resourced, so that we are able to deliver on our mandate. And maybe I had mentioned to you earlier that even right now there's a meeting at the Kenya School of Government in Kabete, where we have all these agencies, and there are many who are congregating there and just going through the paces on how they can be empowered to be able to deliver on their mandate. And one of the other key things that has happened during that maybe a period of 1 year is that he has set up standing committees in every ministry to support the work of the boards. So I'm sure in the next couple of months, you're going to see a lot of change and a lot of difference in the way most of the agencies, including ourselves, operate. Because I don't think we are the only ones who have been operating not at the optimal level. There are many agencies that have not been operating at the optimal level. But the government, I think, has now a concerted effort to bring out the role of the boards and to have them properly supported and properly resourced. And I think with that, like even now, because we operate under the State Department of Housing and Urban Development, so the principal secretary in that docket now has a mandate to support the boards and ensure that they are really operating at the optimal levels. So I'm sure you're going to see a lot of change as the SAGAs or the semi-autonomous government agencies take their place, because ideally they are an extension arm of the government. They are part of government, and they're supposed to help the ministries even to perform in their specific areas.
And when you look at the agency, that is EARB, what is this kind of support? What is this one support that you believe can unlock the potential of your agency?
In the last 3 or so years, we have set up a secretariat. Actually, we moved from a one-office secretariat, one man, one-office secretariat. And now we have space because of the support that we have also received from the ministry and from the registered members and some of the other efforts that we have done. So there are key things that the board...
How many members do you have now? The last time I came to your organization, I mean, you are less than 2. I mean, you're less than 3 actually.
I think the Secretariat now, and we have had the ministry also, give us some staff to support us. I could say the numbers have grown to about close to 10.
Close to 10
yeah,
people.
Which is good, which is good.
And you have also moved from the survey of Kenya, where you used to operate in a very small office.
Yeah, now we have offices, good offices at a high-end building in Upper Hill, the Prism Towers. On our 14th floor, we have very good offices, which we are working to fully equipped, and we are able to serve the Kenyans better now. Yeah.
One of your mandate is to ensure that estate agents, are registered and they are practicing within the law. And this calls for, regular checkups to ensure that they are complying with laid down regulations and procedures.
Yeah.
How are you doing that without, the services of inspectors or people like that?
Eventually, we'll need an enforcement arm under the board. An enforcement arm that is purely dedicated to ensure there is compliance of the laws that govern the registration of estate agents. In the meantime, we are working with the other government agencies. We are working with the Office of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, and we're working also with the Office of the Public Prosecution Agency. So with those two and others, I think we should be able to start the crackdown. But eventually, when the setup is fully done, when you have a fully fledged secretariat, we need an arm, an enforcement arm. And for us to be able to achieve that, maybe I could just update you that we are working on a review of our act, because the act that we are operating under is a 1987 law. Of course, it has been overtaken by events. We have had the Constitution come after that. We have had many other land laws that have been passed. The Land Act, the Land Registration Act, the Section of Properties Act, the
Building Code.
The Building Code, the POCAMLA and the MLOs that deal with the illicit money and proceeds of crime. And real estate, of course, has been flagged as one of the sectors that needs a lot of oversight in that area, in the areas of illicit money, because some of it, of course, would find itself in the real estate. So we are working with the Financial Reporting Center. We are working with other agencies to be able to strengthen our laws, our current laws, to review our act and develop other regulations, supporting regulations, so that we strengthen the structure of the board and also upgrade our legislative environment.
I had to pose this question to you. If there was one thing that you wish the government was to do that would change the phase and the operations of the board, what would that be?
The one big thing that will require right now, I would say maybe two big things. One is the review of that legislative environment, because that is key for us to be able to operate optimally. The other one is the
ERB Act of
the Estate Agents Act, 533 of 1987. 1987, it was operationalized in 1989, I believe. Yeah, that need to be reviewed, like yesterday. And we are working with some of the supporting agencies to review that. The other thing that, of course, we need are resources. We need financial resources. If you have financial resources, then we'll be able to put the right people in the office to be able to support the operations of the board, and also put in the programs like publicity programs, and also work on the areas of enforcement.
You get your funding from membership and registrations and outreach campaigns, right?
Yes, yeah.
You don't receive any funding from the Exchequer?
Not yet.
Is what you get enough to run your operations?
It's barely enough.
It's barely enough?
Yeah. No, it will not scratch the service. Yeah.
So are you having a conversation with the National Treasury to ensure that you have your allocation from the National Treasury?
Yeah, indeed. That's a discussion that we're having, first of all, with our line principal secretary and onward with our cabinet secretary. And we have engaged them in the past, and as the cycle of budgeting starts, we will revive those discussions. Yeah.
I have seen the Kenya Revenue Authority, becoming very aggressive in a bid to nab more landlords and bring them into the taxation stable.
Yeah.
And I know one of the organizations that that KRA is working with is your agency.
Right.
Help us understand how has this helped your organization to come into the public limelight?
We have had discussions with the agency, the KRA, on the matters of mostly the rental income tax, which our landlords and the water agents, the agents help the landlords to collect, and also this is our sector. Yeah. And our discussions have just basically evolved on how that field can be expanded and how they can, maximize the taxation that is collected. And of course, they have engaged even the registered estate agents directly. I think writing letters to them to help them in the collection of the rental income tax.
Yeah. So what is your role, between KRA and the landlords? Where do you come in that value chain?
As a regulator, for us, the key thing is to ensure that the people who are offering the service of estate agency and the ones who are offering the services of property management are properly regulated. And also to ensure that they are competent to offer that service. So that is where we come in. Because if the landscape is properly regulated, if the sector is properly regulated, then it will also be easy for KRA to collect the tax. Yeah. So that's how we come in, because our role is very easy, is to protect the public, is to protect the public interest in matters of real estate, and especially when it comes to the practitioners who are offering that service. So what we are encouraging, especially the landlords, is not to employ or contract people who are not registered to be their estate agents.
How do I know that an estate agent is registered with EARB?
Every estate agent who is registered has a certificate of registration. And every year they take up an annual renewal license for them to be able to practice. So anyone who is claiming to be an estate agent should be able to produce a certificate of registration and a current license for that year. And also we have our website, www.estateagentsboard.or.ke. On our website, we have a list of all the registered estate agents, and also those who are in current. Yeah, they are there.
More than 3,000.
Yeah, and the ones who are in current standing, they are there. They are there in our website, and also every year we gazette the entire list of all the estate agents who are registered and those who are practicing. So every year before March, we have a statutory obligations to gazette all the estate agents who are registered. So then it becomes very easy. Recently, we also automated our processes. So if you go to our system, you'll be able to get the list of the persons who are registered.
I mean, if you're just joining us, you're watching Inside Government. We are live from our national headquarters here at Broadcasting House. Our conversation this afternoon, we are looking at the Estate Agents Registration Board, which is the agency in charge of regulating estate agents in this country. We are talking to the chairperson of the board. This is none other than Eunice Macharia, and you're watching us live. And I just want to find out from you, Nancy, Eunice, sorry. There's so many people who are not registered with you, not because they're not willing, but probably maybe they don't even know the process. They don't even know where to start. How do I start the process of registering as an agent?
The process of registration is simple because we have a statutory form, which now we have also automated. You can access it on our website. And
you said your website is?
Our website is www.estateagentsboard.or.ke.
Very well.
Yeah. So if you come to our website, you'll be able to access the form. The form is actually a statutory form, and a statutory form. So you can access that and fill in the details. The details will be asking you to fill in the basic details like, your academic qualifications, your practice as an estate agent, what is your experience in that field. We'll be asking you to give us the name of your recommender, someone who knows you, who can advocate for you and say, I know this person, they are people of good repute and good discipline. Then we'll be asking for normal documents like the police clearance certificate, and also be asking for basic information like your KRA PIN and etc. etc.
For me to be qualified as an agent, what do I need? What qualifications do I need?
Like I said before, you know, estate agency is a profession. And we have several universities right now in Kenya who are teaching or offering tuition in real estate, degree in real estate. We have universities like the Technical University of Kenya. We have Nairobi University who have offered it for the longest, because the degree before was called Land Economics. They train basically valuers and also estate agents. And University of Nairobi has been offering it for the longest time. And that's where I trained. And also we have other universities like Kenyatta University, you have Mount Kenya University, and among others who are offering a degree in real estate. So it's a profession, and anybody who is aspiring to become an estate agent should be able to go through the training, either it's a degree or a diploma, because that's what the law says, yeah? And also, for you to be equipped to offer that service, you need to study a lot of land rules. You need to understand the legal landscape when you're dealing with property. You need to understand issues of planning, so that when you're selling a property to your customer, you're not telling them this property is suitable for a petrol station. And when you go to the planner to apply for approval, they tell you it's only suitable for to put up a house for your family, one single dwelling. Yet when it was being marketed, because it's on a highway, it was being marketed as a commercial property. But this is not a commercial property, it's a residential property. So unless you understand the principles of planning, then you'll not be able to offer a good service. If you don't understand the economies around estate agents, you'll not be able to offer a good service. So real estate is a profession that you need to go to school and study real estate, or do a related course that prepares you and equips you. Then you also be looking at your experience. You'll be looking at this person who has come to us for registration. Do they have the requisite experience to be able to go out on their own and practice as estate agents? And many times when they come, we refer them back and tell them, find a qualified estate agent and work under them for a year or 2 years, so that you are properly equipped to offer that service. So there's a bit of training, academic, and there's also the area of practice and a registered estate agent, so that you are fully and totally equipped to be able to offer service. And that's what the law, the law says, the law gives the board the mandate to ensure that those who are practicing have the necessary qualifications and competencies to offer that service.
What are the ramifications of an estate agent operating without proper documentation and licenses?
The biggest of all is they'll be acting outside of the law. So it's illegal, actually, to operate as an estate agent without registration. So, and if the board catches us up with you, or the enforcement agencies catches up with you, because there's nothing right now that stops even a policeman from arresting you when you're operating as an estate agent without a license.
Do they know that, the police officers?
Yes, they know that. We are engaging the IG on those matters. We have engaged his office, so they know. If you're operating as an agent without a license, you're operating outside of the law. It's illegal. So anyone who is acting as an estate agent without registration is an illegality. That has a lot of ramifications. First of all is that you cannot enter into a valid contract with anyone and be able to support it. For example, you cannot enter into a contract with someone who is selling their property to act on their behalf, because that contract cannot be enforced. It's an illegal contract. Because if you are operating an illegal entity, or you are doing an illegal action, then even if you sign a contract with a principal or with a client for you to act on their behalf, that contract cannot be enforced. And we have seen a lot of cases where purporting agents, who we call quacks, you assist a property owner. They have assisted property owners, for example, to sell a property, including some very prime properties in Nairobi. And when there is a dispute in regards to their commission, and some of those disputes have ended up in court, the courts have upheld that that person cannot earn a commission because they are not registered. We have had several cases that have been ruled that way, and they have lost their commission because the courts cannot enforce an illegal contract.
You see, the definition of an estate agent to many Kenyans is a person who has an idea of a number of vacant rooms in an apartment, and they take you there, you give them some money, and that is the understanding. But what is the proper understanding of an estate agent?
The estate agent has several roles. Yeah. The basic one, is the selling and the letting, what you have described. Well, a person who takes you to a property tells you, this property is on sale, it is on sale at this much, then they'll help you to negotiate for the property, and they'll help you to maybe buy it. And most of them edit at that point. However, a qualified estate agent should be able to take you through the entire process, from the point of marketing that property, the point of contracting, like doing a letter of offer or doing a sale agreement. They should be able to take you through the process of conveyance until a property is registered in your name. Most of the brokers who are in the market, they don't understand the entire process. So once you have, they have reached a deal, then they take that client to a lawyer or to the property owner, they hand them over. So letting and selling is one of the services that estate agents offer. Preparation of real estate service or market service and collection of data, that's another service. If you, for example, you are a foreigner, you're coming to invest in Nairobi, or even a local, and you have money and you want to invest in real estate, who advises you which is the right investment for you to get into? That would be a real estate agency. Why? Because they understand the market, they understand the clientele, they understand the kind of income that you expect or that is generated from those properties. So they are able to advise you on which is the right property to invest in given your kind of resources. They also help you to acquire sites. You see, like KenGen and others who are doing site acquisitions for power and whatever. An estate agency is able to come to you and tell you, Brian, you have this piece of land, KenGen would like to acquire it. And then they would help you through the process.
They will guide you through that process of acquisition.
Then we have others who help you through the entire, what you said, the entire conveyancing, from the beginning to the end, from the point you identify a property, the entire process of contracting to the transfer of that property.
So the services of an agent, I mean, it goes beyond buying, letting, and selling. Yeah,
and we have property managers who are managing very big properties in Nairobi. The most are being managed by property managers, retail managers. We have people who are managing even a property like this that belongs to KBC. You could say, we don't want to manage it for ourselves. We need a facility manager. They'll come and help you to maintain the building. They'll oversee the services of your service providers, the security, the service providers for fire, cleaning, maintenance, and all those services.
Very good. I mean, we are coming to the close of this conversation, but I just want to hear from you. Apart from what you have told us, what else do we need to know about ARB and your operations in 30 seconds?
I think you need to know that ARB is a government agency. It's an extension of government. It is government. So if you are operating without registration, then you are doing an illegality. And it's just a matter of time before the arm of the law can catch up with you. And also, if you are offering, if you need a service of an estate agent, you should employ the services of persons who are qualified and who are licensed to give service in a state agency. I'll tell you why. Because we also have a whole disciplinary process. And the estate agents, when they do some misdeeds, we can take them through that discipline. So you have a fallback, as opposed to employing people who are not registered, and sometimes landlords and property owners have lost property through that.
Very good. Eunice, Macharia, thank you very much indeed for joining us this afternoon on Inside Government, and of course for sharing with us those insights.
Thank you.
O'Brien Kimani is my name. You have been watching Inside Government live from Broadcasting House. We do this again on Friday next week. Until then, obviously have a good afternoon.